Somebody lay down a beat!
For all the things that Friendship is Magic gets praised for, the music is definitely up there as one of the show's highlights. From the very beginning, Danielle Ingram and others contributed a whole bunch of memorable tunes to the show. Well, some more memorable than others. In total, there are around 107 songs across 9 seasons and 1 movie, and I thought it would be interesting to see how they all stacked up to one another. Using this one list from Tiermaker, I tried to come up with a decisive list of every song from worst to best. Now, I just want to state that this ranking is my opinion, and isn't really based on anything objective. I do know some stuff about music, but what this really comes down to is whether the song sounds good or not. Also, I left out songs from all the Equestria Girls movies just because I haven't seen all of them. With that said, let's get into it. This is every song from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic ranked, from worst to best. This one is honestly just annoying. I know the whole idea of it is that it's supposed to be a song for toddlers, but it still sucks nonetheless. There's not much to say about this one. It's just nothing. I love me a good Halloween-y song, but this doesn't do it for me. The lyrics in this one are super awkward and cringy. Also, the rhymes they use for this one are incredibly simple, like something a first-time songwriter would use. All around, it really doesn't stand up to the quality of most of the others. They usually give Apple Bloom some of the better songs, but not here. Having her paired up with Big Mac and Drag kinda ruins the whole thing. Plus, I'm just not a fan of the episode it comes from. Like, the motivation for Big Mac is sweet, but the rest of the episode feels subtly trans-misogynistic in a really gross way. This one's literally just He's a Jolly Good Fellow. This one's literally just Yankee Doodle. Controversial opinion here, I think if you're gonna have a character sing a big upbeat jazz number like this, I think they should actually be able to sing. Yet again, the episode it comes from really drags it down. I really am not a fan of most of the dragon characters, especially Spike's fake dad, so... Imagine the most generic, forgettable, motivational song ever, and give 33% of it to one of my least favorite characters. This is one of the only songs post-season 5 to give Fluttershy a big role, which really sucks. Pretty shocking, yeah, but I'm not a fan. It's not because Discord's being a POS, I think he's a lot of fun in this episode, the visuals are really nice, but the music just isn't that memorable. I do appreciate that they got John Delancey to sing for this, though. Easily my least favorite of the 3 Flim and Flam songs. There's no catchy hook like the other two, and yet again, the episode it comes from is a really dumb twist. Like, they're shocked when they find out the school is free, but then they just find out it's not free. This is one of those songs, you know, the ones with the super forgettable melody that just spam the mandolin everywhere throughout. I swear, these happen more and more and more as the show progresses. Again, another forgettable tune with happening in the background for no reason. They give Yona only one line in this, which, why? Yona's voice actress does a fine job singing her voice. If you couldn't tell already, she's my favorite of the Student 6. It's another one of those, not catchy, obnoxious mandolin, yada yada. They seem to give a disproportionate amount of these to the CMC. Same deal again with the Student 6, I hate how the Season 8 premiere hyped these guys up, but never really used them to their fullest extent. They injected some much needed life into the show after the absolute slog that was Seasons 5 through 7. Nothing to say about this one, just at this point, somebody needed to take that mandolin and hide it from Danielle Ingram so he couldn't use it anymore. Probably the best of this bunch, the chorus has a really catchy hook, meaning I can actually remember what it sounds like. Like the Piggy Dance, this is just nothing. It's so forgettable that it doesn't even go out of its way to be bad. It might as well just not exist. This is literally just We Got The Beat by the Go-Go's, but like a Minecraft parody version about MLP. Not much to say about this, but if you like the original and MLP, you'll probably like this one. This one is actually good, I just have a hard time remembering it. It gets points for featuring Fluttershy though. Season 1 Pinkie sang a lot. Out of all the little songs they gave her, this is probably the worst, but you know, it's obviously supposed to be like that. This one's pretty catchy, but kind of annoying. Due to the nature of the show, there aren't many songs featuring baritones, so when one does come around, it's kind of special. Whenever I hear this song, the only thing I can think of is the Friendship is Witchcraft version, which is arguably better. Put a pin in that because we're going to come back to that point later. Ah yes, a genre I like to call the sound-alike collection. This one's just a sound-alike of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, but more optimistic. A pretty nice lullaby with a fun reprise. Nothing much to say. This one's okay, but it feels like it goes on for hours. Seriously, I like that they gave Spike a song, but why did it have to be a ballad? Not a fan of Sia. I mean, after that stupid movie she made, I don't think anybody is. This song just feels really out of place in MLP, and not in a good way. It's an okay reprise of the Failure song the main 6 get to join in, but besides that, yeah, it's just another version of the Failure song. It's fun, it's jazzy, and has a catchy hook. Too bad the episode it comes from was kinda weird. Points for being a Fluttershy song, minus points for it being so short. Like, they seriously couldn't bother to write at least one more verse. Same deal with Hop, Skip, and Jump. This song might as well not exist because I guarantee you, Pinkie's Brew has 100% more cultural relevance. Unlike what the title would suggest, this one isn't just a hokey pokey. It's okay. The very definition of nothing special. This and its reprise are definitely the better song from Philly Vanilli. If there's one thing that any sort of movie or TV show can have that immediately makes me love it even more, it's a cheesy rap song. You know, your Addams Family groove, Do the Bartman, Are You Ready for Freddy? Rap and History of the Wonderbolts fills that void for MLP. Plus, I do tend to use Pinkie Pie's method of memorizing things more, so that's a plus. This one doesn't really have any sort of hook or consistent melody. In my opinion, it's probably the worst from the Crusaders of the Lost Mark, which isn't saying a lot because this episode has some great music. Look, I'm as happy as the next scat at Diamond Tiara is out of office. I mean, at this point, who wouldn't be? I just hope that Pipsqueak can actually bring some change to this country instead of being a corporate shill like people were calling him during the primaries. Come on, it's Weird Al. They got the guy who wrote Hardware Store and you don't think he won't write an absolute banger or two? No thoughts, only season 1 nostalgia. A better version of Morning in Ponyville. Plus, this does a really good job at capping off season 3. This song's okay, sort of a more boring version of the Smile song. Again, the episode it's from really drags it down. It's called Rarity Takes Manhattan, but the whole thing is just Rarity on a boat for most of it. She doesn't even get to Manhattan until the end. This one's just fine, not much to say honestly. The little part before they talk to Big Mac is kind of a highlight. Catchy, short, and to the point. Again, nothing much to say. Does a great job setting up Pinkie Pie's whole character, for anybody who wouldn't know what her deal is. Overall, it's a nice opener to Pinkie Pride. Okay, you have to admit, it was pretty admirable how they turned one of the most hated characters into a sympathetic one in the span of like 30 minutes. Man, remember season 1? Me too, me too. This one wasn't my favorite when I was younger just because it was about dressmaking, which at the time was lame and stupid, but now I see why so many people like the song. It's really nice. In seasons 8 and 9, they really upped the amount of songs that sound like something from an actual musical. This one's a nice refresher compared to whatever they had in season 7. Okay, but why didn't Cheese Sandwich just tell Pinkie Pie about this to begin with? I think that would have saved a lot of time. Did he just forget who she was for like a day? This feels like something they put in one of the toy commercials. It's upbeat, generic, poppy, and about friendship. Not saying that any of those aspects makes it a bad song, though. Celestia and Luna get a jazz number? Pretty out of character, but it's catchy.
You're gay! He's gay!
Fucking homosexual.
Gay!
This one's super catchy and does a good job of introducing the main 6 to all the parents in the audience who know next to nothing about MLP. Art of the dress, but better. A pretty good follow-up to the first Flim and Flam song. This one has a nice hook and a pretty similar progression to the super speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. Perfect example of a song being used to progress the story. Imagine if this wasn't in the episode and we had to see Twilight go around to every one of the main 6. This gets the idea down concisely without wasting the viewer's time. The Sea Pony song from G1 I think is better, but they really did capture the vibe of it, whether intentional or not. Whenever the entire Apple family is involved, you know it's going to be a good song. Definitely the highlight of an otherwise okay episode. This one does what Best Friends Until the End of Time does, but better. This might just be me, but this sounds like something they'd sing in like non-denominational Sunday school. Gives me churchy vibes. Same with the Heart Carol, but that's obviously intentional. It technically is sort of a catch-all sound-alike for those types of Christmas carols. It mostly reminds me of Joy to the World. This sounds more like something from Equestria Girls rather than something from Friendship is Magic, but that doesn't make it bad. The song was practically designed to be played at some little girl's MLP-themed birthday party. Major land vibes from this one. I know this ranking is about the songs, not the animation connected to them, but dang, does this number have some great visuals. If you looked up villain song in the dictionary, this would probably be the picture for it. Sort of feels like a sound-alike of Kidnap the Santa Claus from A Nightmare Before Christmas. For the very first song from the show, it's a pretty good one. It really is super fun and upbeat, and it probably was a turning point for a lot of people in 2010 to be like, hey, this little pony show is kinda good. This is the exact opposite to the last one. Somber, dreary, and wonderfully dark. They always say the best songs from the musical episodes, and when I tell you A Hearthwarming Carol is the best example of this, I mean it. Who doesn't love Lady Gaga? This song does a perfect job of capturing the vibe of her work. Also, why didn't they make Rah-Rah's manager Nightshade from G1? That feels like a missed opportunity. The very definition of an earworm. They really went all out for this one. Another example of a song actually uplifting the episode it's in instead of bringing it down. For once they gave Pinkie a slower song and it actually sounds pretty good. Not only that, but the reprise of Pinkie Pie the Party Planner caps it off nicely. If you couldn't tell already, Yona is one of my favorite characters. By proxy, the song is great for me. Plus, the episode and its conclusion is genuinely heartwarming. Also, Yona is trans. You can't argue with me on this. The song is nice, but the episode isn't that good. It's always a treat when they do songs in a different style than they do normally. The song's lyrics, especially the contradiction between Rarity and Pinkie Pie's verses, are pretty clever. This one sounds way too similar to Hearth's Strongest Horses to me, but it's still good nonetheless. I might be wrong, but I think this is the first song from Season 4. If so, it's a good motivational song for the CMC. Minus points for the mandolin, though. I recognize the name Emily Blunt, but I had no idea that she could sing, let alone sing this well. Big Mac's verses are meh, but Featherbang's parts are priceless, especially the first one. This one goes in the sound-alike box, sounding awfully close to Baby by Justin Bieber, and trust me, that's not a bad thing. This one is just iconic. That's all there is to say. Not bringing this one up when talking about the music of MLP is like bringing up Queen and not mentioning We Will Rock You. I am a sucker for a good Christmas song. This one fits the bill perfectly. It's festive, merry, and even a little jolly perhaps. A nice aria from Twilight and a great introduction to Season 3. This one is super entertaining. The way they change up the melody like one of Weird Al's polka medleys is a clever way of incorporating that sort of thing into an episode. The best section was hands down the party cannon. Again, it's Weird Al. I shouldn't have to say anything else. Captures the grand scope of the movie perfectly. Not to mention, it's yet another earworm. Season 4 was when I originally stopped watching back then, so I guess I have a little nostalgia for this song, as somewhat of a send-off to the show. This one fits Season 4's tone perfectly, points off for the mandolin though. This one sort of does for the CMC what Pinkie Pie the Party Planner did for Pinkie, at least in the beginning. The version at the end of the episode is just great, and honestly has the same energy as the season finale the way the episode concludes. A heartwarming carol is at it again with another hit. This one really needed to be longer. After the first verse, it sort of just slows down and gets boring. There might be an extended version on the soundtrack, I don't know. Hopefully there is, because the beginning is just amazing. Undoubtedly the best of the 3 Flim and Flam songs. Every song they give the Flim Flam brothers after this just tries to recapture the original to varying degrees of success. Another Season 1 Pinkie song that's short and sweet, not much to be said about this one. Same here, except this one has a melody that sticks in your head more. Another sound-alike, this time it's Dream Warriors by Dawkins, an immediate plus for that. This song would probably be a lot higher if the vocals were actually serious. A perfect example of the Broadway sound that Season 8 and Season 9's music has. The Kirin are a really cool concept, and this song explains their whole deal in a really fun way. I've said it once and I'll say it again, I'm a sucker for a good Christmas song. This one's less of a traditional carol like the others and is more in line with something like Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. A Canterlot Wedding is probably the best musical episode in the series in terms of consistent quality. Every song is good in its own right. This one I think is pretty underrated compared to the other two. Communism is When No Cutie Mark. The best song from a heartwarming carol. It's not really a villain song, but it gives off that sort of energy. This is just great. It's a really powerful ballad that captures the feeling of something I'd hear on the radio. Whatever the equivalent to the Grammys there is in Equestria, this would probably win one. It might just be Apple Bloom's voice, but this song has a really nice country feel to it. The intro version is cool and all, but the extended version is where it's at. It really makes me miss the show even more. This song is actually really good, but what sucks is whenever the scene is brought up, the first thing that people go to is the Friendship is Witchcraft version. Seeing a Canterlot wedding and trying not to think about Twilight and Shining Armor's incestuous relationship has the same energy as playing Sonic Adventure 2 and trying not to think about Eggman peeing on the moon. All the songs near the end of Magical Mystery Cure do a great job of making the episode feel like a culmination of all 3 seasons. This song is the best example of that. Same thing with Celestia's Ballad, except I just personally prefer this one. I think this is the only time that all 4 princesses were featured in a song. This one is great, especially the chorus and Cadence's one little line before it. An absolute classic from Season 1. The song sort of peaks at Rainbow Dash's verse, but is still pretty good throughout. Hands down the best song from the Crystal Empire 2-parter. I hate that I've said this for so many songs, but it's just so catchy. Points off for the mandolin though. This is the prime example of a song uplifting the episode it comes from. I probably would have forgotten the episode even existed if it weren't for this one. Unlike At the Gala, this one gets better and better after each verse. The melody for this one is just so infectious. It's probably the most catchy out of all of these. First full Rainbow Dash song, and wow, is it spectacular. The lyrics, the melody, the energy that Ashley Ball gives the performance, all these come together to create an amazing tune. This song straight up sounds too good to be in a cartoon about rainbow-colored horses. It really tugs at your heartstrings with some beautiful vocals and a simplistic backing track. By far the best of Rah Rah's songs. The version at the concert is great, but the acoustic version in Applejack's flashback is better in my opinion. Just like You're in My Head like a catchy song, the vocals are more powerful when accentuated by just a guitar. This song gets points by merit of almost making me cry when I listen to it for the first time after a while. It really is one of the best ways the show could have ended. The little nod to the G1 theme at the end gets me every time. I thought the song was boring as a kid, but now I've got to say it truly is something special. Honestly, it's one of the most underrated of the whole show. Major Season 1 nostalgia. This song embodies that warm-hearted, earnest feeling that the first season has to it so well. It shows how even before the show started to lean towards an older audience, they really did care and tried their best to make something that everybody would love. Wow, shocker. This one's in the top 3. I know it's a really basic opinion to have, but come on. This Day aria wouldn't be as iconic as it is if it wasn't an amazing song. It has thrilling instrumentals, beautiful singing, and does what any song in any musical should do and progresses the story in a creative way. If the Smile song is We Will Rock You, then this song is Bohemian Rhapsody. In my opinion, this isn't only the best song from Friendship is Magic, but is for sure the most underrated. It may not be as dramatic as this aria, or a tearjerker like The Magic of Friendship Grows. It probably isn't even as catchy as Apples to the Core. But what it is the perfect balance between all those three elements and more. It really is just gold, especially when it reaches the last chorus. Oh man, it's just so good. It's just so good, you guys. Well, that's my ranking. Thanks for watching through the whole video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I try to publish new videos every Friday. The next one, I'll be going through the history of My Little Pony on home video. I'll also be pulling a Quentin reviews and saying that once we hit 200 subs, I'll watch and review every Equestria Girls movie. As I mentioned, I haven't seen most of them. I can't think of a better outro, so until next time, goodbye.